We have some bad news. Unfortunately, we are going to be moving back into a house. We got news today that the Brinkley G4150 that we've been waiting on patiently since October 1st won't be ready as we thought until likely the beginning of March. We were told that our Brinkley was coming off the line on December 10th. We asked about this on December 8th. From there, we had 4 to 6 weeks more to wait for the paint job, and then a week or so to transport it to the dealership, and then we'd be able to pick it up. So since October, and then reconfirmed in December, we have been expecting to pick up our Brinkley at the end of January, beginning of February at the absolute latest, and that's what's been communicated with us. Today, we decided to check in because it was getting close to time, and we found out that the Brinkley will not be coming off the line until January 12th, which was a huge shock to us because nothing had been communicated that anything had changed. So now, from January 12th, we have 4 to 6 weeks. They told us another 10 days for transport to the dealership, and then we can go and pick it up. Those that don't know, me, my husband Chris, and our 2 kids, who are 1.5 and almost 4, have been living in a 27-foot travel trailer. We listed our house in September, and it closed December 12th. We decided in the middle of September that we were going to go ahead and move into the camper to start our full-time RV life, because we were so excited and we wanted to start the process, but we also felt that it would be really hard to live in the house with 2 young kids, to keep it clean for showings and all that type of stuff. So we're like, let's just go ahead and get out. We knew that living in this very small camper with 2 young kids and Chris working full-time remote would be very hard. It has proven to be that. The only thing that has been keeping us going is knowing that we were so close to the finish line. What has ended up happening is most of the days I feel like I need to be gone with the kids and entertaining them in new cities with lots of activities, but then also trying to figure out meals and nap times while we're not at home. So we end up just driving around and doing car naps and eating tons of snack food because I don't want to buy fast food, or packing a lunch. Like, it's just been hard. If we do end up staying here, Chris basically doesn't get any work done because it's really chaotic with the kids and the noises and them getting into everything. So in our current setup, we have a queen bed, 2 bunk beds, and a dinette that fits 4 people. We do not have a couch. We do not have a TV. We barely have, a kitchen. Thankfully, we do have some countertop space. But Chris either gets to work in a queen bed, which is not a great work environment when you're a software developer and need to be on computers all day long, or he can sit at a very uncomfortable dinette. But if he sits there, then he's in the only area that I have really to hang out with the kids. So again, it's been challenging to say the least, but what has been keeping us going is knowing how close we were to finally getting our new Brinkley with a lot more space, a dedicated office, private office for Chris, a toy hauler that we can have a playroom in the back for the kids, we can have a real couch, we can have a real kitchen, we can have a real TV, all of these amazing things that we're still super excited about. But due to miscommunication, not from Brinkley, but from our sales rep, that has quickly gone out the window for now. So truly, for our mental health at this point, we have decided to go ahead and park our camper and move into an Airbnb until our Brinkley's ready. So we are going to travel to the Birmingham area. The dealership that will be picking up the Brinkley is a little south of there. So we're going to stay in the Birmingham area for the next month and a half or so while we wait on the Brinkley. That will give Chris more dedicated workspace, me space for the kids to hang out and have, home time without us feeling like we need to get out of the house every day. And we are going to hang out there until we get the call that it's ready. All of this could have been avoided because we could have planned differently if we knew that it wasn't going to be until March. It does seem that knowledge should have been there because the Brinkley dates apparently didn't change, but it was our rep misunderstanding the situation and conveying incorrect information with us and never following back up to correct that misinformation. So that part is pretty disappointing. I definitely think we would have planned differently if this information had been given to us earlier on December 8th when we asked for an update. If it would have been told to us then, totally different situation. But we're finding out today, January 9th, which is about the time that it should be coming out of paint, and we should be packing up our stuff to pick up our new Brinkley in the next few weeks, that it's actually going to be probably March. So needless to say, today was a big disappointment, but we are pivoting, and I feel like in the full-time RV world, you have situations that pop up that are unplanned. Maybe your RV needs to go to the shop and then you get an Airbnb. Maybe your truck breaks down, and whatever the situation is, you need to get a hotel, Airbnb, stay with friends or family. I don't know. All I know is that I expect things like this to happen in the future. It just sucks that we haven't even gotten really into it yet, and we've been really holding on by a thread waiting for our new RV because the space has been very challenging. The space was never meant to be a full-time living situation. We bought this as just a fun weekend getaway camper. We knew that the space would be hard, and we were willing to do it for 3 months. But again, we made the decision to order this October 1st, and we're not going to be getting it until March. I want to reiterate that we do not think the issue is with Brinkley, and in fact we spoke directly with Brinkley, and it appears that their information has never changed. Again, this was a miscommunication from our sales rep. I do feel that things have gone quiet since this person, quote, made the sale. I don't feel like we should have to constantly, it's not even constantly, we've checked in twice for an update. There's been zero update from their end, which when you have an over $200,000 sale, keeping your customer or client warm after the sale to make sure it sticks, I feel is very important coming from a sales background. And just being like, hey guys, just wanted to check in, no update, the whatever date is still looking great, no changes, no news, it's all good. He even admitted that he doesn't check that stuff because he's never had issues with things changing before, which I don't know, I feel conflicted on that. He also admitted that he has not worked with Brinkley through December before, so this is his first December, and didn't realize they take 3 weeks off. He thought it was 2 weeks. They had snow days that delayed it. All these basically excuses for just not following up. In my mind, if you tell your client that your Brinkley is coming off the line in 2 days, when the client asked 2 days before that, in 2 days I would be following up to make sure that that actually happened and confirming with your client that that did happen, rather than just waiting for us to follow up in a month to check in on the status, and we now get a completely different story. Anyways, I will say that once we got that news, we quickly started to look around to see if there was another option. The thing that makes it hard is that we did get the premium exterior package and individual suspension and the dual pane windows, which are not typically on the RVs that you see in the lot. Me being me, I was able to find one, and they said we could have it January 20th if we wanted it, and it had everything that we were ordering, that we had planned to order. And the only caveat was that it wasn't the exact color that I wanted, but it's just a color. Like, when your mental health is suffering, I was definitely willing to bend on that given the situation. We discussed with our sales rep the situation again. He offered to come off the price a little bit more to help with us needing to get an Airbnb for the next month and a half, because there's just no way that we continue the way that we've been going for the next month and a half with Chris working full time. If he wasn't working, I think it would be more than fine, but he needs to work because he needs to bring in money to support our family and to support these purchases, and that's priority number one. If he's unable to do that, and I'm unable to manage the kids in a way that doesn't just completely wear me down by the end of every single day, then we need to find another option. I personally do not think this has anything to do with our full-time RV life plans. All of that is going to continue as soon as we get the Brinkley. The reason we are so strict on getting this particular Brinkley is because it has a front private office, which is so important for our family lifestyle, Chris's job, and that's like a non-negotiable, and that's why we decided to go ahead and take this leap when we saw that that was an option for us, or we wouldn't just have to have Chris working in the bedroom every day. So this is, yeah, it's a road bump. And we'll get through it. It's temporary. This too shall pass, all of the things. But the thought of continuing the way that we've been living for another month and a half or two just didn't sit well at all. So I think once we finish this campground reservation, which ends January 17th or 18th, we're just going to go ahead and head up there. That way we're there, we get the drive out of the way, because we're in the Tampa Bay area right now, so it's like an 8 or 9 hour drive plus a bazillion stops with the kids, so probably 12-hour drive. So we just want to go ahead and get there and hang out, settle in, and when we get the call, we won't have to worry about traveling to get up there. We'll just already be there, and then we can get settled and move in fully, which we have a pod with all of our long-term things that we were keeping to move in once we had the bigger space. So I think we're gonna go ahead and get the pod delivered there so we can just unload everything, and then we'll come back to Florida in, I guess, March. That is our update, and yeah, stay tuned, I guess.